Hello and welcome to this IBM SPSS Statistics video. Today we're looking at running decision trees in SPSS. My name is Astrid Cook and I'm an analyst here at version 1. We wanted to let you know that this video is part of a video series. There are 3 videos in the series. The first video shows you how to get started with decision trees. The second video looks at holdout samples. And the third video shows you how to find top rules. So today we're going to give you an introduction to decision trees. We'll show you how to set them up in SPSS, and we'll do a quick review of the output. So at the end of this video, you should have a basic understanding of decision trees. So first of all, why use decision trees? Well, first of all, they allow you to have a large number of predictors, and those predictors can have different data types. So you can bring in nominal data, ordinal data, scale data. Some algorithms can predict both numeric and categorical targets, so that can be very useful. And the results are intuitive. And I'll take you through a decision tree, and you'll see that it's easy to understand the output that you're getting. Now, I mentioned that some algorithms allow you to predict both a categorical and a continuous target. These algorithms are CHAID, exhaustive CHAID, and classification and regression trees. If we're looking at split type, CHAID gives us multiple splits. Exhaustive CHAID does the same. So here's a tree with multiple splits. Versus binary splits, and this is classification and regression trees and Quest. And again, here's a tree with binary splits. So I'm in SPSS and I'm using a data file called telco.sav. This file is installed with SPSS. So if you go into the location where you've installed SPSS and you find a folder called samples, this data file will be in there. Now, the data file has information on customers. It's a telco data file, and it's got some demographic information. It's got usage information, information on services they have with us. And you notice down at the bottom, the last variable we have is churn. And this is churn within the last month. We have those that did not churn and those that did. Churn is what we're interested in, and we want to understand it. So in order to do this, I'm going to go on the Analyze menu. I'll come down to Classify, and I'll select Tree. Now, it gives me a message just to tell me to make sure that the measurement level is set properly for my variables. Also, on your dependent variable, you want to make sure that the categories have value labels. You can also tick this box if you don't want the dialog to show again. So here's my dialog box. I have my variables on the left-hand side. I have a dependent variable box, and I have an independent variables box. So for my dependent variable, I'll pick up churn, move it across. I'll select the categories button, and I'm going to select yes. So here, I want to specify a category of interest. So I'll click continue, and then I'll select my variables. And I'll move them into the independent variables box. Now, as we were saying, you can put in many variables. You can have different data types. So I have nominal, scale. Here's an ordinal variable. And then below, I have my growing methods. So I have CHAID, exhaustive CHAID, classification and regression tree, and Quest. We'll stick with CHAID. CHAID stands for chi-square automatic interaction detection, and it uses chi-square tests to build the tree. To the right-hand side, I have the output button, which controls output, validation, criteria, save, and options. So for now, we won't look at these buttons. All I want to do is run the tree just to show you some of the output. So you can see I have my tree. I have a gains for nodes table, and I have a classification table. So let's start by looking at the tree, and I'll double-click to open this up. And I'll come up to the toolbar. I'll make it larger. And then you can see there's buttons at the top, so I can see the tree top down, left to right, right to left. And I can also show tables, charts, or tables and charts. So I've selected tables and charts. That's a good one to select because, again, it makes it a bit easier just visually to see where there are more churners. So again, top of the tree is churn within the last month. The first split in the tree is months with service. So this is the variable, the piece of information that tells us the most about churn. It has the strongest statistical association with churn. And of course, I mentioned that Shade uses chi-square tests, so we can see the chi-square value and we can see the p-value. Now, you can see months with service. On the left-hand side of the tree, we've got newer customers. And then on the right-hand side, we've got customers who have been with us for longer. If we look at those who have been with us for 6 months or less, you can see that 63% churned in the last month. Then we have another group of relatively new customers. There's 107. There's a further split for these customers. So whether or not they had internet service with us is also associated with whether or not they churned. If you notice, if they did have internet service with us, 60% churned. If they didn't, only 36.5% churned. So now you can see that the tree is giving you a lot of information, and it's quite useful. So we know that the most important piece of information is months with service, how long they've been a customer. And again, we can see that months with service has further splits. So again, for example, this group of customers, internet has the strongest association with churn. Now let's go down. We have a gains for nodes table. I specified the target category of interest was yes, these are the people who churned. And at the top of this table are the nodes which have the highest response. So let's have a look at node 1. Here's node 1. 63.4% of customers on this node churned in the last month. That's 59 customers. So again, we can see there's the 59 customers. And we can see the response was 63.4. And then we also see the index value. Now, the index value is the response divided by the total proportion of churners. But here's a little tip I want to give you. If I double-click and I open up the table, if I right-click on index and ask, what's this? It will tell me what it is. So it's the ratio of the node response percentage for the target category compared to the overall target category response for the entire sample. So that gains for nodes table is very useful. And then we have the classification table. And again, we can see the overall percentage correct for churners, and the percentage correct for those who did not churn. So that's a very quick tour of decision trees. To learn more, you can go to the tutorial section of the Learning Hub on our website. Obviously, we have 2 more videos after this one, again, focusing on decision trees. You can contact us at spssadmin@version1.com. You can phone us, and you can check out our website at www.spssanalyticspartner.com. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.